Good evening, everybody, and we're bringing you live football from the London Stadium in a match that has real significance for sides at either end of the table. West Ham fighting for their lives, Manchester City looking to keep up with Arsenal, who beat Everton half an hour ago. This game is even bigger now for Manchester City after Arsenal winning late on against Everton, and Pep Guardiola before the match has said that if they drop points here today, then it's done. So a real pressure point of this season for Manchester City. And on paper, you'd think this should be an easy game for Manchester City. West Ham are winless in 20 games against them. But this just feels a little bit different. City know they're not going to be handed 3 points. This isn't going to be easy. West Ham have had a real upturn in form since the arrival of Nuno Espirito Santo. And they are going to be a tough nut to crack here at the London Stadium. And Pep Guardiola sitting in the stands watching on anxiously as he is touchline bound after his antics against Newcastle last weekend. So a huge game. If West Ham can get anything from this game, then it will be considered a bonus point or 3, and it would take them perhaps momentarily out of the relegation zone before the others play tomorrow. But we are about to get underway here, and it will be Manchester City to get us underway with Nico O'Reilly. City in the all-black away strip. West Ham in their home claret kit with the white shorts. City kicking from right to left. West Ham from left to right. And we are underway, and City with the ball at the back here with Kusanov. And Nunes goes down the line aiming for Haaland, but it's intercepted by Mavropanos, who of course was the hero in West Ham's FA Cup win against Brentford on penalties. And that was 120 minutes that they played before those spot kicks, so we'll have to see if that's taking any edge off West Ham today, and if they've fully energised themselves again. But Manchester City currently sit 10 points off Arsenal at the top, and whilst they do have 2 games in hand, it's still not a pleasing sight for them. And Arsenal, well, they've got the points on the board. City need 3 points here. As Nunes goes down the line, plays it back to Rodri. Semenyo gives it back to Rodri. And you would expect City to have the majority of possession in this one. West Ham will sit tight and look to break when they can, but they have shown a bit of aggression with their press here, and that has been played through on this occasion. But they have got players back, and Semenyo just pops it off to Bernardo Silva in the centre. But it is back with West Ham now. And Wan-Bissaka looks to clip it down the line, but it's intercepted by Aït-Nouri. Here's Nico O'Reilly. Of course, scored a double in his last Premier League outing against Newcastle, so he'll be full of confidence. But the team itself may have just been a little bit knocked with their confidence after losing comfortably in the end, despite the dominance 3-0 to Real Madrid in the first leg of their Champions League round of 16 game. Aït-Nouri now looking to take on Wan-Bissaka on the left. Here's Nico O'Reilly. Head up, looking for options. Plays it inside to Marmoush. Back with Aït-Nouri. Rodri. Looking to drive down the left-hand side. And shepherds it away for a corner for Manchester City. It took a little nick off Todibo for West Ham. Marmoush to take the corner for Manchester City. And it's whipped in and headed back from where it came from. So it's going to be another corner for Manchester City. Diouf at the near post, heading that away. And out for another corner. City know what they have to do. They know the pressure's on, as that's whipped in and headed away, but it's back out with Marmoush on the left-hand side. He looks to cross, but it's too low and it's headed away comfortably by Wan-Bissaka, but picked up again by City. Here's Rodri. Aït-Nouri. Looks to take on Bowen, which he does. He gets into the box and looks to cut inside and shoot, but it's well defended by Bowen, who's got back. Fernandez can't prevent the corner. But that's good attacking play from Aït-Nouri. Skipped past Bowen really well. And then looked to engineer a shooting chance, but he was smothered in the end by a few West Ham players. And West Ham are going to have to be alert for the whole 90 minutes, and that will be testing. As Kusanov gets to the loose ball after the corner. It's back with Kusanov on the right-hand side by the byline. Rodri clips it into the box, but it's headed away by Mavropanos. All City in these opening 5 minutes, which is what you would expect, and that should be the general feel of the game. And if you offered West Ham a 0-0 right here, right now, they would absolutely snap your hand off. As a point would take them above Nottingham Forest and level on points with Spurs before they play on Sunday. Spurs obviously away at Anfield to Liverpool, and Nottingham Forest with a home match against Fulham. Rodri out to Kusanov. 93% of the ball City have had in these opening 6 minutes. And Pep is just on the phone at the moment. Might be to Pep Lijnders actually, as Pep Lijnders is on the bench for City to oversee things. O'Reilly to Rodri. Souček hooks it forward. Bowen can't quite keep that ball and shield it. Rodri out to Nunes. Diouf's looking to close him down and does so, but there's a handball in there which stops the attack for West Ham. Semenyo traps Nunes' pass well. It's back with Nunes, who does a back heel to Bernardo Silva. Gay. That's nice play inside to Semenyo. But it's cut out. But now with Rodri. Now Bernardo Silva. Driving forward, getting into the box well. It's out to Nunes, who crosses it in, and it's over everyone, and Wan-Bissaka doesn't get to it initially, but then does at the second attempt against Aït-Nouri, but it is back with Manchester City and Marc Guéhi. Kusanov. West Ham not completely sitting off City. They are looking to just close those passing lanes and press the away side. But they're not going to be silly about it and completely open up. There will be a reserved nature to the way the team goes about it, which is expected. City with steady possession at the moment. And Bernardo Silva under pressure, but just about gets that pass away. And he's played out to Nico O'Reilly, who plays it inside to Semenyo, who's in a bit of space. Semenyo looks for Haaland. It's a bit wide, out on the left in the box. Haaland looks to whip it in, but it's well defended by Todibo. But good from City, and that is the downside of West Ham just committing an extra body forward to press, because there is a little bit of a gap there in the midfield when they do that, and Semenyo's picked up some nice positions a couple of times now. So it's going to be another corner for Manchester City. Marmoush whips it in. It's a bit deeper this time, but headed away. Bernardo Silva now, just on the edge of the box to Rodri. Rodri looked to fire it into Semenyo, but it's defended, but cross back in. Guéhi's there, but it's headed away. Haaland looking to latch onto the loose ball and crosses it, but it's blocked, and Bowen can look to clear it, and I think Bowen was asking for a handball there, but the referee has given that, and it's going to be a yellow card for Marmoush, who looked to have had an outstretched arm, and he did, just to stop it from, just to stop the ball from going through to a West Ham player, and a clear yellow card. Well spotted by the referee, Michael Oliver. Rodri picks it up for City. Here's Nunes, who's having arguably his best season in a City shirt. He's found a place at right back for City. Came in from Wolves as a midfielder originally, but was never able to establish himself in that position. But at right back, he seems to have found a decent level. Rodri. Bernardo Silva. Kusanov. Rodri having to go back to Kusanov. Here's Guéhi out to Rodri. Kusanov strides forward. Played to Nunes. Nunes down the line to Semenyo. Semenyo. Kusanov. Guéhi. Rodri. Nice incisive play from City, and Semenyo's through ball intercepted well by Disasi. And Juff Plays it to Bowen, and here's a chance for West Ham to break. Bowen gets his pass closed down well by O'Reilly, but it is with Wan-Bissaka now. West Ham with a first bit of territory in the Manchester City half. But Aït-Nouri defends well, and City can look to break here with Semenyo. Haaland making a marauding run, but it's not found. And Semenyo keeps it and plays it to Nunez. Bernardo Silva to Rodri in the middle. Or to Guéhi. Aït-Nouri. Kusanov. And that is a loose pass from Rodri that goes out for a throw-in. West Ham will be pretty pleased with how this game has started. No chances yet for City. Still early on though. And City have a fantastic record of scoring goals against West Ham. They've scored at least 3 in each of their last 6 games against the hosts. But you do feel that Nuno has added some real grit into this West Ham side that they haven't had in those last 6 games. So I'd be surprised if City got 3 goals in this one. So some possession for West Ham here. Todibo to Wan-Bissaka. Back with Todibo. City looking to put the pressure on. But it's only a half press at the moment. Into Pablo. Back with Pablo. Now Souček in the left back position for now. He clips it forward, but it's not found a West Ham man. Guéhi to Nunez. Guéhi, a nice inside pass to O'Reilly, who's got a bit of space here. Plays it out to the right. Here's Nunez. Nunez to Semenyo. Semenyo cuts back on his left. But a lot of West Ham bodies to get past for Manchester City. Rodri out to Aït-Nouri. Bernardo Silva. Guéhi. Bernardo Silva. West Ham defending well so far in this match. 16 minutes gone. Still 0-0 here. No chances yet in this one. But Manchester City know that a draw is not enough at this stage in the title race. Need to be getting all 3 points here. O'Reilly in an advanced position. Plays it out on the left to Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri to Rodri, back with Aït-Nouri. A flick from Aït-Nouri to Rodri. But City are going to have to be inventive in this game, as you can just see a sea of West Ham bodies. But that's a bit of space for O'Reilly that's opened up, and his cross is blocked and out for a corner for City. Crossed in again by Marmoush. Can't beat the first man though. Bowen heads away. Needs to be better for City. Marmoush, he's had an indifferent season. His first full season for Manchester City. He ended last season fantastically as a January signing. But here's Bowen looking to break for West Ham. Plays it to Pablo, but it's a little bit too heavy and Rodri can get to that. But it is going to be a throw-in for West Ham. West Ham do have real momentum in their season. They do seem a different team under Nuno now. And I mean, they were 6-7 points adrift of safety at one stage, but they have cut it to a matter of goal difference now. And as things stand, of course, they will be in 17th, but that is not something to think about just yet. And City just have lost a little bit of momentum. As Gahey has the ball here and they're just passing it. Not really in dangerous areas at the moment. Rodri though, played to Marmoush, who looks to turn. It's physical with Fernandes and it's going to be a free kick just on the edge of the box. So a chance for City perhaps. Might be too close to the edge of the box. That's the only thing with this, but a bit too physical from Fernandes. Semenyo and Marmoush in conversation, but I think it is going to be left to Marmoush. And Fernandes is going to be the wall underneath the wall, and that's a wayward free kick from Marmoush. That goes comfortably wide. And that's quite composed from Hermansen. He let Marmoush get very close to him there, but made the pass. And West Ham look to break here, but it's well intercepted by Gahey. Still in the air though at the moment. Bernardo Silva with a cultured, cushioned pass back for City. Semenyo turns inside. Here's Gahey just past the halfway line. Out to Aït-Nouri on the left. Here's Nico O'Reilly. A run's being made by Marmoush. Looks to get inside against Todibo, but Todibo doing well. The flag is up though against Marmoush. Tight. That is a tight call, but just right. Diouf. Throw in on the left-hand side for West Ham. Here's Haaland. Looked to find Marmoush, but it's a pass that goes astray, and it's back with West Ham. Mavropanos. Out to Disasi. Here's Diouf. Fernandez. Saliba. A flick from Fernandez inside. Wan-Bissaka has the 1-2. Still not with West Ham, just a little foul in there against for Haaland from Wan-Bissaka, who was lunging. O'Reilly looks to turn. Can't find a City player though, and West Ham can break. Here's Fernandez, nice touch. Through ball aiming for Pablo, but Kusanov is quick and he's there and plays it to Donnarumma, who feels like he's getting his first touches of the game. He's not even been in shot. West Ham have not been into the Man City half yet. Nuno applauding. He'll be pleased with what he's seen so far, limiting Manchester City greatly. Man City, of course, last weekend dropped points to a relegation battling side in Nottingham Forest, conceding a goal from Elliot Anderson. But here's Diouf cutting inside, but it's won back by City. Nunez skips past Diouf really well, but Diouf bites back and it's no foul there. Diouf looks to get an early crossing, but Kusanov meets it. Semenyo takes the ball down beautifully. It's going to be a throw-in for Manchester City. Pep Lijnders with a notepad, just writing some things down. Never seen Pep actually write notes down, to be honest. And I'm talking about Pep Guardiola. So Pep Lijnders with a different approach. Rodri driving forward. Marmoush. Well defended by West Ham. Aït-Nouri whips it in, it loops and it goes out for a goal kick for City. Haaland not able to capitalise and get any real contact on that header. Manson calmly with the ball, plays it to Disasi. Now Diouf. Throwing for West Ham. Rodri picks up the ball now for Man City. Here's O'Reilly. Haaland was making a run again, but not found. O'Reilly still going with it, but crowded by Man City, by West Ham players. Pablo with a sharp turn. And keeps the ball. Bowen tries to latch onto that, but it's still with City, and Rodri plays it back. And I think Bowen is down for City for West Ham. But play carries on. Here's Marmoush on the left. Ain't Nouri. Rodri with a bit of a loose touch, but still manages to play it back, and Bowen's back up on his feet, hobbling back into play. Semenyo. Nunes. Bowen looks to be okay. Here's Bernardo Silva. Ain't Nouri. And he'll look to put another cross in, but it's blocked by Wan-Bissaka, and it's a throw-in for City. City not a team to use the long throw tactic as they throw it quickly to Guéhi. Bernardo Silva now. Rodri. Nice pass inside to Haaland, but it's back to Kusanov. City not able to penetrate the West Ham defence as of yet. West Ham doing a good job in these opening 30 minutes, but still a long way to go. That's a through ball to Marmoush, but he looks well offside and the flag's gone up. I'm just having a look at that Bowen challenge again that caused Bowen some distress, and I'm not surprised because Kusanov, with his attempted clearance, just stood on the side of Bowen's leg, and that was bound to be a painful one. As Juff goes down against a challenge of Semenyo, and it's going to be a free kick for West Ham deep in their own half on the left. Just stands on the foot of Juff, does Semenyo. And it's a loose header from Todibo, and it's back with Man City. Bit of an aimless header that was, as Nouri now plays it back to Donnarumma in goal. He goes long. Haaland, brilliant control from Haaland, but they do get a lucky bounce, and it's still with City. Semenyo. Here's Marmoush. Bernardo Silva making an overlap, and he's found. Got some space here on the left, and he's clipped it beautifully, and he's caught Hermansson off guard and scored. What a bit of ingenious from Bernardo Silva. And there's murmurs that he might not be extending his contract beyond this season and leaving the club. But that is a big goal for Manchester City in this season's title race. And it's so clever. You wouldn't expect him to shoot from there, but I'm pretty sure he meant it. Just dinks it over. I mean, you'd have to ask him if he meant it, because it's on second view, I don't think he did mean it. But he is that type of player that you wouldn't be surprised if he did. But it's an attempted cross from the left, you'd think, but it just takes doesn't quite go where he was planning, and it just goes over the goalkeeper. And I think, yeah, you can see by his face that he did not mean that. But it's in, and that's all that matters for City. They've had no real chances on goal up until that point, and that wasn't even a chance on goal, really. It was a fluke-natured goal. But City with a big goal, and they now lead 1-0, and they can be infused by that now. It's been a difficult half an hour for them, but still work to do though. Fernandez out to Diouf. Back with Hermansen in goal. Fired into Bowen, who takes it down well. Then Kusanov clears and out for a throw in for West Ham. Wan-Bissaka to Fernandez. Bowen. Souček. Fernandez. Pablo. Nice sharp play in a tight space from West Ham, and that's going to be a corner. A dinked cross into the box was cleared by Kusanov. So a first corner of the game for West Ham United. Can they make the most of it? Bowen's cross goes over Donnarumma! And that's the equaliser! Mavropanos levels things up. And after a really quiet opening half an hour, we've got 2 goals in the space of 4 minutes. And the 6'5" frame of Donnarumma couldn't even reach that. Perhaps poor judgment from him, as Mavropanos just had to get that on target, and it hit the crossbar and went over the line. Donnarumma nowhere near it, flapping. West Ham fans clapping. And West Ham, with their first shot of the game, have their equaliser. Game on. Bernardo Silva now with the foul and gets a yellow card, so it's quickly turned from delight to despair for City and Bernardo Silva. That is a bit of a nasty challenge from Bernardo Silva. So City needing to go again. As there's 8 minutes left of this first half as Donnarumma goes long for Haaland, but Haaland's touch gets away from him and it's out for a throw-in for West Ham. As Pep Guardiola looks on with a slight bit of concern on his face. And it's not been a great performance from City. West Ham have really nullified them, and West Ham may have considered themselves a little bit unlucky to have conceded that goal, but they sure bounced back quickly. Wan-Bissaka's throw. Castellanos still has it. Wan-Bissaka fakes to cross, still with it. Fernandez. Todibo. Aït-Nouri. Under some pressure, plays it to Guéhi, who tries to clear, gets a foul from Wan-Bissaka, and a bit of a nasty one from the West Ham right back. And it was nasty. Studs up, but not quite warranting a red card, I don't think, but could have easily been a yellow card there. Rodri needed to be careful there. He was under pressure from Bowen. West Ham with their tails up. Haaland looking to claim it, but it's won back by West Ham. Pablo, good footwork onto Castellanos. City just a little bit unsure of themselves right now. Wan-Bissaka with the long throw, flicked on, but Marmoush looks to get away and is pulled back by Fernandez. City evading the West Ham press well. Here's Nunes. Tried to find Semenyo, but it's just a bit disjointed and West Ham have won it back. Disasi. Diouf. Gets it out to Castellanos. Fernandez. So check. This is nice play from West Ham. Their confidence is really up now and they've been able to have some possession themselves, as it's been 50-50 in the last 5 minutes. Hermansen. Todibo. Fernandez clips it nicely to Wan-Bissaka, who tried to return the favour, but it's won back by City. Here's O'Reilly. Good feet from him. Cuts inside. Here's Bernardo Silva. Now Marmoush. But brilliant defending from West Ham. Not allowing any space for City. As Bowen looks to clear. And that's a brilliant ball over to Castellanos. Guéhi with good pace though to get back and play it to Donnarumma. But a nice ball over the top from Jarrod Bowen, and Castellanos just didn't quite have the pace against Guéhi, and with Somerville missing, they do lack that bit of pace, West Ham. And he's definitely a big miss, and he's not going to be back until after the international break. And West Ham, in some ways, will be pleased that the international break will be coming, because it allows Somerville to get fit, ready for the run-in. Castellanos over the top now to Bowen, but Aït-Nouri's there, and it's good pace. Man City with the ball, but West Ham really with their tails up and putting the pressure on Man City, who aren't dealing with it too well at the moment. Semenyo out to Nunes. Aït-Nouri on the right at the moment. Rodri, Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva drifting inside. That's a nice play from him. Semenyo. Just a little bit of a loose pass that forces Nunes wide. And just breaks the flow for City. Bernardo Silva. And that, he can... Pep Guardiola, he's seen enough of this first half, so he's going into the dressing room ready to give that team talk, and that's going to be a vital one. Kusanov looking to drive through the West Ham defence, and he's not going to do that. West Ham win it back. But it's one back now. Haaland plays a bobbled pass to Semenyo, who dealt with it well, but just put it wide. And that was a chance for City. West Ham caught in possession. And it wasn't the best ball from Haaland. It was bobbling, and Semenyo actually did really well to get a good connection on that ball. And it only just went wide, and there will be 2 minutes of added time in this first half, which has seen not many chances on goal, but we've seen 2 goals in this game. And West Ham may not want this half to come to an end, because they are the team that probably has their tails up the most at the moment. Bernardo Silva to Rodri. Played out to Guéhi. Aït-Nouri. Marmoush. O'Reilly running in behind, and it's intercepted by Todibo. Aït-Nouri picks the ball up. Lovely footwork. Still Rodri. Semenyo's pass is loose, but he's picked it back up though. Rodri. Aït-Nouri. Marmoush. O'Reilly finds the pass inside to Rodri. Nunes goes for goal, and it was ambitious. Haaland was asking for the pass, but Nunes' shot goes over, and that could be the final action of this first half. And that is it for half time. A game of not many chances, but we've had 2 goals. Bernardo Silva's fluked cross ended up in the back of the net, chipping Hermansen in goal. But that joy was short-lived after Donnarumma misjudged the West Ham corner, and Mavropanos headed home to equalise for West Ham. So half-time here at the London Stadium in this big match. It's West Ham United 1, Manchester City 1. Yes, well, West Ham United and Manchester City playing for huge things this season, but with different meanings. Manchester City needing all 3 points to realistically stay in this title race with Arsenal. West Ham United, any point is a bonus point here, but it would be one that they would be eternally grateful for as they seek to survive in the Premier League for another year. So it was a half that was indifferent, not really any chances other than the 2 goals that we had. Both odd goals in many respects. But we are at 1 apiece. And the second half is underway for West Ham United. Here is Hermansen. And City need to be better. That's for sure. And Pep will have perhaps given them a talking to in that second half, because there wasn't enough intensity. West Ham, yes, they were defending well and not letting City through often, but City, they need to up the ante in this second half if they want to stand the chance of winning this Premier League title and getting it back off Liverpool. That's hooked over to Bowen, who couldn't quite control it first time, so Aït-Nouri can play it to Kusanov. Nice composure to get it past Castellanos, and Kusanov comes back inside and plays it to his goalkeeper, Donnarumma, who then goes back to Kusanov. O'Reilly. Back with O'Reilly. Nice give and go between him and Aït-Nouri, who stayed down after the challenge. But here's Semenyo, and there's some space for City here at the start of this second half. Semenyo, his pass just is overhit, and Bernardo Silva has to go to the corner flag to pick it up. And he plays it back to Nunes. Here's Rodri. Marmoush, just on the edge of the box here, plays it out to the right for Bernardo Silva, the goal scorer of City's goal. Plays a nice pass to Marmoush, who gets a shot away, and it goes past the post and wide. But a decent start to the second half for Manchester City. Man City, in general, are in good form. They're unbeaten in their last 11 games and have lost just one of their last 17 Premier League games, but they have drawn 5. So there has been a vulnerability there. They have dropped 8 points from winning positions in the run that was just mentioned. I mean, that could happen again. They obviously took the lead in this game against West Ham and were pulled back shortly afterwards. So this isn't a vintage City, but still a good City that still has a chance of winning the Premier League, but they need to really lock in as Castellanos tries to spray the ball out to the right, but it's picked up by Aït-Nouri. Rodri looking for Haaland, but Todibo's there. And Haaland did make a couple of runs in behind, but wasn't picked out. And that may have been part of the messaging from Guardiola to look for Haaland a bit more, because he's not really had too much action as the Premier League's top goal scorer. But he's not in the best run of form for goals, Haaland. Nunes. Bernardo Silva. Pep once more on the phone to Pep Lijnders. Rodri for City. Nunes. Marmoush. Bernardo Silva to Nunes. Here's Bernardo Silva on the right. Nunes. O'Reilly finds a nice pass to Aït-Nouri, who made a bit of space in the middle, but it's won back by West Ham. Here's Pablo. Nice feet. His pass is overhit though, and Gueye can pick it up. And City struggling to break this West Ham side down, and there definitely has been an extra layer of resilience added by Nuno to this West Ham side, and those last 6 games where West Ham have been beaten quite comfortably against Manchester City, they're proving to be a much different opposition right now. Bernardo Silva. Oh, and that's a bit of a slow-moving pass, but it just about gets to Donnarumma. Now Aït-Nouri just about gets the ball under control, but he's up against 2 West Ham players and slips. An incisive pass into Castellanos, but his attempted back heel doesn't quite come off, and City can look to break here with Rodri. Rodri just goes between all the Man City players and can't find a man, but Fernandes is well found by Hermansen, and West Ham have the ball. Souček, his pass is just behind Fernandes, who collects the ball. Fernandes drilled past to Bowen, now Wan-Bissaka. Souček to Bowen. Bowen, great strength. Here's Souček on the right, crosses it in, Castellanos misses it, and Gueye can clear for City. And City have a real game on their hands here. And they're going to have to earn these 3 points. It was the same for Arsenal. They were really tested by Everton and did brilliantly in the end to just get the 3 points. And that's what Manchester City need to do here, because you just get the feeling that this could be a decisive moment in the title race. And you feel that City are at risk of dropping points and ending their title bid. It just has that feeling about it. And City need to shake that feeling. Here's Haaland. Right-footed pass out to Semenyo on the left. Semenyo up against Todibo. Gets past him at the one stage, but then it's brilliant from Todibo to get back and block the cross. And it kindly falls to Hermansen. Now here's Diouf on the left, who just about kept it in. Oh no, he didn't, according to the referee. I thought he did just about keep it in, but Nunes trying to get Michael Oliver's attention, and hands are raised, and definitely didn't agree with the referee's decision there, and I can see what he's on about. Gay. Disasi goes long. Well headed by Kusanov, but it's still with West Ham. Souček with the ball over the top, aiming for Castellanos, who is offside. Rodri. Aït-Nouri. Here's Semenyo. Castellanos with a Rabona pass to Pablo. Not sure that was necessary in that position, but he did it anyway. And Bowen almost picked up the loose ball, but Rodri was there just in the nick of time. Rodri. His pass is loose. Wan-Bissaka picks it up for West Ham. But he's crowded out and City win it back. Here's Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri. Gahey. O'Reilly. City forced back. West Ham can clear. And Ryan Cherki is about to be introduced for Manchester City. And if you're in need of a creative spark, then there's not many better in the Premier League to turn to than that man. As Haaland was making a run through, but O'Reilly's pass was intercepted. Pablo for West Ham. Here's Fernandez. Marmoush battling back, but West Ham keep it. Souček. Back to Hermansen. Mavropanos. Todibo. West Ham, a much more solid unit since Nuno has come in. They looked all over the shop under Graham Potter. And it's going to be a double change, in fact. Doku and Cherki coming on for City. Pep knows that they need something. And they need something different. So Marmoush, one of those to make way. And also Ryan Aït-Nouri. So an attacking change from Guardiola. And I mentioned Cherki's creative spark. And he is Man City's top assist maker. 8 assists in the Premier League. And 12 in all competition. And he's created 15 big chances in the Premier League, which is only bettered by Bruno Fernandes in the league. So a fantastic creative outlet. And his team very much needs him in this one. City looking to up the urgency here. They know what's at stake. They know the importance. As Cherki gets on the ball for the first time, he's done brilliantly to play in Haaland, and that's a top save from Hermansen. Brilliant save to deny Haaland from putting City in front. And that was travelling into the bottom corner. It's a great save. How vital could that be? Bernardo Silva whips the corner in and it's headed goalwards and just wide. And it's going to be another corner for City. And it did come off Pablo, and that header could have gone anywhere. Bernardo Silva into the box again, and it's flicked away. Cherki. Nunes. Back with Cherki. Gay. Bernardo Silva onto Doku. All Man City at the moment. As Cherki turns sharply. Does really well, Ryan Cherki. Cutting inside and shooting. Takes a deflection. And that's going to be a corner kick. Cherki instantly made a difference since coming on. So Bernardo Silva, it's going to be another outswinger from the left. And it's headed away and out for a goal kick. Kusanov with the header. And some more substitutions warming up for City. As time is marching on, Phil Foden, another attacking player who will no doubt be introduced at some point. And there will be a change for West Ham. Pablo makes way for Magassa. Diouf goes long. Nunes. Cherki inside. O'Reilly. Doku. Cherki. Crosses it in, aiming for Haaland, but it's headed away by Mavropanos. And Diouf looked to clear, but City looking to win it back, and they've won a corner. Good work there from Semenyo, just putting the pressure on the left back, forcing a City corner, this time from the right. And Cherki goes over to take. Cherki both-footed, and it looks like it might be another outswinger, which is interesting. A lot of takes are in-swingers, but it is an outswinger, and it's headed away. Here's Doku. Nunes. Bernardo Silva. Now Cherki. Cherki to Semenyo. Semenyo, dancing feet. Plays it out wide to Rodri. He's whipped it in. It's a testing ball and it's headed away. Falls to Doku with a sharp shift and a blaze over the bar. But City really upping the ante now. City win the ball back again. Here's Cherki onto Semenyo. Doku. Go out to Nunes. And look at that for the match stats. 1 attempt for West Ham and 1 goal. And that's all they need at the moment if they're going to get a point from this one. Might not be enough. A City intensify the play and Nunes goes down. No penalty and it will be a corner kick. And it looks to be good defending from West Ham United. But City really upping it, and that is really good defending actually from Magasa rather. Gets the ball, and it's a save as well from Hermansen. Bernardo Silva whips it in. It is an in-swinger this time, but still the same end result. It will be a goal kick. Rodri heading clear. Bit of head tennis at the moment. Chested down well by Bowen. Wan-Bissaka plays it over to Bowen, who takes it down lovely. Tries to hook it in, and Kusanov wasn't sure. And Donnarumma just about gets there. And looks to start the attack for City. Nunes. Bernardo Silva now. Nunes. Rodri, Semenyo, Nunes. City have definitely upped the intensity here. They know what's at stake. They know 3 points is the only option. As Cherki whips it in and it beats every West Ham player. It's out to Doku. To Haaland, who mishits it. Not been his night. Not been his night. And for him, that's a golden opportunity that he just shanks wide. Castellanos nearly winning that back, but Nunes with the ball for City. Rodri. Semenyo. Gay. Cherki. Doku up against Wan-Bissaka. Gets into the box, plays it inside, and it's not cleared yet. Todibo, though, clears. But City will come again. And City, as much as they've upped the intensity, they need to up the quality as well. It's been a low quality game, it has to be said. Rodri Gets past one, can't get past another, and Bowen looks to drive away, gets a bit of fortune, but still has it, pokes it forward, but there isn't a West Ham player up there to get onto that through ball. West Ham look to be hanging on for what they've got. Rodri clipped it over to Núñez, but it's too much. And Hermansen claims. Pep still on the phone, still in dialogue with his assistant. A call for help. So as it stands, Manchester City will be 9 points off Arsenal with just the one game in hand. So even if they won that, it would still be 6 points, which at this stage is a big gap. O'Reilly. On to Doku. Bit of space here. Todibo has been really good all game. Doku can't get the better of him again this time. Todibo, brilliant defending from him. Castellanos trying to win it back off Guehi, but a foul is committed by the West Ham striker. Rodri. Núñez for City. On to Semenyo on the right hand side. Looks to get past Diouf. Cuts in on his left. Bernardo Silva crosses it in. Haaland's there, but it's headed away by Todibo. And here's Bowen now for West Ham. He's all alone though, and he's not going to beat Kusanov for pace. So he has to just hold the ball up and wait for support, and he does that brilliantly. West Ham back with possession. And Arsenal players and fans will no doubt be watching this game with their hopes increasing by the minute. And the belief increasing that they can win this title. And here's some pace coming into the fray. West Ham taking off Tati Castellanos for Adama Traore, who's had some good moments against Manchester City for Nuno in a Wolves shirt. Let's see if he can recreate a moment like that for West Ham in what would be an absolutely vital 3 points if they got it, but I think they would take a draw now. Semenyo makes way for Foden for Manchester City. And Reinders is also on for Bernardo Silva, who shakes his head as he walks off the pitch. The last throw of the dice really for City. As the clock ticks down, 15 minutes to play of normal time. West Ham United 1, Manchester City 1, City 9 points off Arsenal with a game in hand. Many would say that's not enough. They need 3 points, or they could be handing the title to Arsenal, as Adama's making a nuisance of himself, darting in to try and win that loose ball, but Donnarumma's there. Played over now by Rodri, but Todibo meets it and chests it down brilliantly, and he has been terrific. The West Ham defence in general has been good, but Todibo has stood out in this game. Fernandes whips a low ball in. Guehi doesn't keep it. O'Reilly, Guehi, Wan-Bissaka lunging in, winning it, but his pass is intercepted. Back with West Ham though. They could still have a say in this. Wan-Bissaka whips it in, headed away by Núñez. Disasi. Magassa loses it and wins a vital foul. He doesn't win it, but it probably feels like it because City were away. City were away, and it's a yellow card, the clearest yellow card you'll see. City would have had numbers there. What? I mean, yeah, you'll be pleased if you're a West Ham fan, and Magassa and Nuno with that challenge, because, yeah, that was vital, even though it was a foul. Nunes back to Kusanov. And they've already dropped 8 points from winning positions in the last 17 games. And they could be about to make it 10 if they don't get that second goal that would give them potentially the 3 points. Haaland to Rodri. Foden's making a run. Foden's found. He's played it into the box, but it's blocked and out for a corner for Manchester City. And we have a very interesting final 15 minutes here. City with a corner. It's an in-swinger. And it's out to Cherki, who gets a shot away, and it's held well by Hermansson. And he can claim gratefully. And needed to watch that, as it did go through a body of players. And Bowen holds the ball up again, as he has done all game, quite brilliantly. Rodri for City. Foden. Doku. He's got Wan-Bissaka and Bowen for company. He's played it back to Guéhi. A nice sharp pass to O'Reilly, who looks to whip it into the box, and it's blocked by Souček for a throw-in for City. And are they going to go long? They're not, as they go back to Rodri. Here's Reinders. Kusanov. Foden. Nunes. Time really is of the essence for Manchester City. Reinders. Foden. Cherki. Looks to beat his man. Plays a nice pass out to Nunes on the right. It's back to Cherki. Nice feet. But still no joy. And West Ham are a tall team. It's whipped in to Haaland, but it's just gone beyond the Norwegian and out for a goal kick. And West Ham do have a tall team, so it's going to be difficult when you're crossing it in to beat that. Guéhi wins his header. And it's back with Todibo, who lets it go out for a throw-in for West Ham. And he just takes his time and gives it to Wan-Bissaka. West Ham would be absolutely delighted with a point against Manchester City, a team that they have really struggled against in recent times. Kusanov. Foden. Rodri. Reinders to O'Reilly. Cherky gets crowded out. O'Reilly's header forward, cleared by Soucek. Kusanov. Headed to Nunes, but just there to win it back. And it's with Disasi who clips it forward, but it's picked off, and City can look to attack again. Here's Reinders. On to Doku. Up against Wan-Bissaka, who is a tricky customer, and that's going to be a corner kick to City. West Ham defending valiantly. But the job is not done yet. We've seen so many times Manchester City getting a late goal in a title race that is so crucial. Can they do it again in these last 10 minutes? Reinders whips it in and it's cleared by West Ham. Cherky out to Reinders again on the left. Nicely done and cut inside by Reinders. Doku wins a foul. Fernandes with it.